I agree with actually everything everyone's saying. Off the record is sacred. It really is. And again, as a child of a politician who I literally grew up around journalists, I have known Jake Tapper, John Dickerson officiated my wedding, and he's a very famous political journalist. Martha Raddatz, these are people I've known since I can remember being a child. And I think these are people, there are real journalists out there that off the record means off the freaking record. And there is a symbiotic relationship between all political principals and journalists. That's how it works. Because you feed off each other. The principal wants their story told, and it's the journalist's job to take whatever information and then report on it. But the ultimate breakdown has started happening because we are now saying all journalists are enemy of the people, which I do blame President Trump. I also blame the media for when people go and, you know, Jim Acosta touts himself out as a journalist in front of the White House and is clearly someone who just wants to be on TV. It's bad all the way around.
I agree with you on that.
Just let me finish really quick.
That's a matter
but I
of
think
opinion.
the sacred institution between journalists and principals is something that we have seen break down completely and burn to the ground in the past 2 years, and it's something that should be brought back.
It's
I'm just saying a journalist officiated my wedding.
I got you.
But I'm just saying, it wasn't always like this, and I think the point you're all trying to make is the breakdown has happened in the past.
Okay, but it's interesting to note that the reporter was from the Washington Examiner, which is a basically Republican, quote-unquote, conservative newspaper. This was not the Washington Post or the New York Times, that, by the way, that Trump does not want to come and read and have it in the White House anymore. He's afraid of those two newspapers.
Well, it's fascinating, then, that the Washington Examiner did this to Kellyanne Conway.
Yes, because you know what? I think I am not different than many other people that have received calls and like this woman, and it is different when it does become bullying and you start threatening someone and you start making them feel worse about themselves and what they're doing. That is, to Megan's point, we've come a long way from where we used to be with relationships between politicians and the media.
But it's interesting, too, I think the point that you're making, that they're not calling me.
Right.
You know, they're not calling.
That's why
they're trying to pick people to manipulate or to bully.
I wish she would call me. Why don't you call me, Kellyanne?
But do you think that Kellyanne felt a certain amount of safety with the Washington Examiner? Do you think that she felt the Washington Examiner would never do that?
No, not the way she started the conversation. No, she is a bit of a bully. And she was bullying somebody who she thought was going to back up. And yes, it is sacrosanct when they say off the record, but the truth of the matter is she wasn't going to keep it off the record. Kellyanne wasn't going to keep it off the record. And when you bully people, people are now starting to go, you know what? I used to have respect for you or whatever, but now I don't have any respect for you, and I'm pushing this button. If it's good or bad, I don't know. But it is something that I think people who do this kind of thing, who make those phone calls to try to get you to do something, they now have to remember that people can only be pushed a certain amount before they turn around and bite you like baby shark.
These kind of phone calls are highly unusual. Like, this is, I would like to make the difference that this is very unique to the Trump administration. It's unique to his hench people, whomever. And also, you don't want us to talk about your marriage? Stop doing dual interviews together and making yourselves the story every single day, which you and your husband are doing on a absolute constant basis. Kellyanne and George, I know all about you.
But it's not their fault, Megan.
Well, they're addicted to the press, both of them.
It's really not their fault that they disagree with each other and that they both have a bully partner.
I think their marriage is weird.
And here's the thing. It is weird, and so are we.